Hello, my name is Laura. I'm the owner of You Are Loved Templates, and I create spreadsheet templates for productivity and lifestyle. And today I'm going to be showing you how to make this habit tracker that grows little plants and flowers as you complete your habits. There's a couple neat features in this. I'll show you how to add a drop-down menu, and the dates change depending on what month is chosen, and also for the year as well. You'll have a place to list your daily habits and all these checkboxes for each day. Little flower icons and plant icons with the percentage of habits completed for each day. As you can see, they change color depending on the percentage, so I'll show you how to do that also. I also like to do a little mood tracking, so I just have a list of 1 through 10 here, and there's a color scale that shows you the higher numbers in green, lower numbers in red, and an average over here for both percentages and for mood. Down here in the weekly section, this is stuff you want to get done every single week. So whatever you type in these cells will then populate over here into these cells. And they each have a little checkbox, so once you complete it, you can check it off. Down here is the specific weekly goals. These are just goals that you have for each specific week. So obviously whatever you type in here won't populate into the other days. Same thing for the monthly goals down here. This is what you want to achieve each month. It doesn't change. And then this is specific monthly goals. So those are the features of what I'm going to be showing you how to make today. I do have a template on my website to something similar. It's not the exact same. The actual aesthetic and interface looks a little bit different, and there's these line graphs here. I also have some Google Sheets courses if you're interested in learning a little bit more about how Google Sheets works, and I have specific ones. You can get it for each module, or you can get the entire course. Let's get started on the tutorial for this habit tracker. Let's start out with a blank Google Sheet and we'll name it Habit Tracker. First thing we'll do is we will go to Q all the way to Z, and then we will insert 10 columns. Let's go to B and right-click, resize to 200, and then we'll highlight C all the way to AG, resize to 35. Then we'll hold down the Command button or Control if you're on a PC, and we'll select A, AH, and AJ, right-click, resize to 15. And AI, let's resize to 70. So we've got all of our column sizes already set up and ready to go. Let's highlight B3 to B5, merge, and type in daily. Then highlight C3 to H4, merge, and then we're going to put a drop-down menu in. So we'll right-click, view more cell actions, and data validation. We will add a rule and type in all the months. Let's go to advanced options and then arrow, and we can click done. Now I3 to K4, merge, and we will add a rule and add any years that you think are relevant. So I'll start at 2025 and go to 2030. Same thing, I'll go to arrow as the display style and click done. So now I'll just select January 2025. Let's go to C5 to AG6, and I'll just do all borders. And this is where our week days are going to go, and then our week numbers. So the week numbers aren't going to change, so I'll do 1, 2, 3. Then I'll highlight those and drag it until I get to 31. Let's go to AC2 to AG2, merge, and let's type in today's date. Right under that, I'll highlight those 5 cells, double click into the cell and do equals today, and then 2 parentheses. So that way the date that you're currently on is always correct. And if this date seems to be a day off, it's probably the time zone in your settings. So you'll just go to File, Settings, and select your time zone here, and then that date should be correct once you save the settings. You can choose however many spaces you want for your daily habits. I'll just highlight this many and put a border around to remind myself. I'll highlight all these cells, do an outer border and a vertical border. This row here is where you're going to have the little flower pop up. So I'll make it a little bit longer like this. And this is where the percentages will be. So I'll do all borders for that. And maybe even one around this one too. And type in percentage completed. In cell B21, we can do mood rating 1 through 10. Let's put a border around all of these as well. Let's do the drop-down menu now. You can type it in manually if you like. I just like having a drop-down. Let's go to View More Cell Actions and Data Validation, and we'll just do 1 through 10. And arrow, done. And now you can easily just have your mood rating in there. Let's highlight B23 and B24, merge and do weekly. Then we can just copy that and go down to B37, paste that in, and replace it with monthly. Let's highlight cell C23 to I23, so that's 7 days here. We will merge and type in week 1. And then we can just copy and paste that 3 times and replace it with 2, 3, and 4. What we'll do next is highlight these 6 cells, and then we'll drag that down so there's 5 of them. Copy, paste, paste, and paste. Now we can highlight all of them, copy and paste into C30, and then just do specific weekly goals. And then copy, paste, paste, and paste. Okay, you're doing great. Let's copy this week 1, and we will go down to the monthly area and we'll paste and type in monthly goals. Copy this, paste it over here, and then we can just type in specific monthly goals. Did I spell specific right? It looks wrong. I don't know why. Okay, if we go to row 44 and then do Command-Shift down arrow key, we'll right-click and delete. Or if you're on a PC, it's Control-Shift down arrow key. And we have the bones here. I think it's starting to look good. One thing I'll do right off the bat is click this little rectangle up here and then do center vertically and horizontally. And I like the font Nunito, so I'm just going to do that right off the bat. I'll hold down the Command button and highlight these headers here, make them a little bit bigger and bold. We're obviously going to need to have some checkboxes here, so I'll highlight the areas where the checkboxes will go to Insert and Checkbox, black text, and size 9. I can also put borders around the month and year and make that a little bit bigger. Same with today's date. Just going to put borders around it. I like having the date in this cell here, so I'll do the same thing and do today equals today, but instead I'll do a different format. I'll go to Format, Number, and then Custom Date and Time, and I can choose how I want it to display. I like this one. Maybe I'll make this an abbreviated month, and I'll click Apply. So it looks something like that. Maybe even italicize it. I'm going to highlight this and do all borders. Let's just continue doing the borders until they're completed. So what we'll do here is outer border. I'll highlight the headers and do all borders. And then I just want them to be on the outer part of each week. So it'll look something like this. And we can add the checkboxes here. Black text, size 9, and then I'll just copy, paste, paste, paste. One thing we can do is copy this, and then once I go to paste, I'll right click, do paste special, and then format only, and it will do the borders for me. Then I can just copy the checkboxes. Outer border, outer border, copy, and then paste format only. I'll hold the command button down for those two headers and do an outer border. So we've got the borders mostly done except for the horizontal gray ones, which I guess we can do now actually. So I will highlight here. I know it's a lot of borders, but once we get rid of all the grid lines, it's going to look so nice. So I'll select a light gray color I like and do horizontal. Same with all of these, horizontal, horizontal, and lastly, horizontal. Now for probably the best part of this tutorial, let's go to View, Show, and then uncheck the grid lines, and look how stunning this is. As soon as I did that, I really wanted to highlight all of these and bold them. Same with today's date. And yeah, it's starting to look good. Let's get into the formulas now. One feature that we obviously want is when you select a month that the days here will change. What we'll do first is a hidden formula in cell C2. What we'll do is equals month, parenthesis, date value, parenthesis, and we will select C3. I can't get to it right now. Well, I guess I could. C3. And then we'll do the and symbol. In quotes, we'll type 1 and then 3 parentheses. And then 2 parentheses. So now when I select a month, it will give me a numerical value that correlates to that month. Okay, in cell C5, what we'll do is equals weekday, parenthesis, date, parenthesis, and we'll select the year. So I3, comma, and now we'll select that month value that we just got, C2, comma, and we'll select the day, which is C6, end parenthesis, comma, 1, and then end parenthesis. Now it comes up with a numerical value, but if we go to Format, Number, Custom Date and Time, we'll go and find the one that has Tuesday in it. And we're going to delete everything except for the Tuesday. And I'll do an abbreviated weekday, and we'll click Apply. And now it shows you the weekday. Let's go back into the formula and anchor the year and the month. To anchor a cell, you'll put a dollar symbol before the column and a dollar symbol before the row. Same thing for C2. We'll anchor that in. C6, we don't have to anchor in because we want it to change once we drag it over. And I'll show you what I mean. So if I drag this over once, if I double click into the cell, you can see that it anchored the year and the month, so that didn't change. But it did change the day in that same column. So if I drag all the way over, then it will fill in, keeping the year, the month, but using that day of the month instead. So if I select July, today is the 6th and it is Sunday, so this is correct. To keep this hidden, we can just make this a white text. And there we have it. Let's highlight these two rows, right click, and make them a little bit bigger. I'll do 30. I'm going to type in some example habits here. So the next thing we'll do is the percentage. Let's double click into the cell and type if, parenthesis, is error, parenthesis, count if, parenthesis, and then we'll highlight C7 to C17, comma, in quotes, true, and parenthesis, divided by count A, and then we'll do B7 to B17, so it counts all of the habits, 2 parentheses, comma, and then 2 quotes, comma, and then we can actually just copy what we typed in just now. So I'll do count if all the way to B17 and paste, and then end parenthesis. So it'll give me a numerical value. If there's nothing here, then nothing will pop up. I'll undo that. We're going to want to make this a percentage, so just click Format as Percent, and you can decrease the decimal places. I'll just round it out, so I'll probably just do no decimal places. And let's quickly lock in the habits here. Like we did before, the anchor value, we will put a dollar symbol before and after the column for each of them. And same thing for this one over here. So let's drag that over. And as you can see, it takes from this column here, but anchored in the daily habits over here. So as I start checking these off, you can see the percentage is changing all the way up to 100%. But if I were to delete one, then it adjusts and tells me that that is now 100%. Let's get into the conditional formatting. So the cells change color depending on the percentage. What we'll do is highlight all those percentages, right-click, View More Cell Actions, and Conditional Formatting. The first thing we'll do is the text is exactly, and then we can type in 0. What we'll do is make the fill color white and the text color also white. So if it's 0%, it just doesn't show up. Now let's add another rule, and we'll do value is equal to 100%. So when it's 100, it turns a darker green color. So I'll pick probably this fourth green and a black text. Let's add another rule, and that copies the range here. This time we'll choose greater than or equal to, and obviously you can choose your own percentages here, but I'll do 70%. So once it finally reaches 70%, then it'll turn a nice light green color. So I'll just choose the one below it, or above it, I guess, this green. And we'll do one more, and we'll just do greater than 0%, and then we'll do a red. So once we click done, we have to make sure that they're in this order. If they're not, you can just drag it around. But we want the white to take priority, and then the greens, and then the red underneath. So now when I click these, it'll be red until I hit 70%. Then it turns a light green, and if I get 100, it turns a dark green. For the mood rating, I'm just going to fill in a couple examples here so you can see what it looks like. Let's highlight all of this, and we're still in conditional formatting. We're going to add a rule, but this time we're going to do color scale, and this is another option to have things change color. But I'm going to do a custom color. Right now it's in this green. For the minimum value, I'm going to select a red. So that way the low numbers turn red, whereas the higher numbers turn a darker green. And click done. That one's really simple. I'm going to highlight all of these areas really fast because I did format everything to be centered, but I want these to be aligned to the left. So I'll go up here and left. One thing that we want to happen is have the tasks crossed out once the box is checked. So this is pretty simple. What we're going to do is actually highlight from cell C24 all the way down here to I42. We're still in conditional formatting, but you can right-click, View More Cell Actions, Conditional Formatting. And we're going to do a custom formula. What we'll do is equals dollar symbol, and we're going to look to see where this first checkbox is, and that's C24. So that's what I'll type in, equals true. And we'll select a lighter gray text, no background, and then strike through. So now when I check the box, it will turn gray and strike through. For the next area, let's just do add another rule so it'll copy all of that, but we're going to change the range. So let's delete that and highlight here. We can't do this one because it doesn't perfectly align, so we'll do that one separately. And click OK. Now this first checkbox is in J24, so I'll just change the C to a J. And now that section's good. Let's add another rule. Delete the range, and I'll do this specific monthly goal area and click OK. That first checkbox is in K38. I'll replace this with K38. Let's add another rule, so we'll do this 2 more times. delete the range, and we'll do week 3 now. Click OK. Replace this with Q24. And then just one more. Delete the range, highlight the area, and this time it's X24. And we're done. So now if I type in a task anywhere and I cross it out, it'll do that. For week 2, let's type in a formula that's equals and then just select whatever's in week 1 and click enter. So now whatever I type in here will appear over here. And we can just drag that down. And I'll fix the horizontal borders and I'll do the outer border in a second. But what we'll do is anchor these values. And I'll fix this bottom border. So I'll go to black and then bottom border. And now when I copy this and paste it over here, it will continue to take from that week 1. So whatever I type in here pops up in the rest of the weeks. Over here, let's do the averages really quick, and then we'll get into the plant. Let me put a border around this and this. Okay, in cell AI 19, we'll do equals if error sum parenthesis, and we can highlight all of the percentage areas, parenthesis, divided by count if, parenthesis, oh, I missed one. Yeah. I'll do AG19. Okay. Yeah, I did miss one. Sorry about that. And then comma. In quotes, we'll do greater than 0, quote, end parenthesis, comma, and then 2 quotes, and then end parenthesis. And it's not a percentage, so we'll just click, we'll click percent and move the decimals over. Now, if we wanted to change color with it, we can go here and select data range, add another range, and then just select where that percentage is. And now it can be included with all the colors. And I want to just add it probably to the rest of them, I guess. So add another range, select that cell, done. Go back over here, and I'll just do that one more time. Add a range, AI19, and click OK. For the average of the mood ratings, we could just do average, parenthesis, then highlight all the numbers and click enter. But if I were to delete all of this data, then a little error will pop up. So one thing we can do is type in if error, parenthesis, and then at the very end, we'll just do a comma and end parenthesis. So that way, if there's no numbers, then nothing pops up here. There's no error or anything. But I'll add a couple numbers here. And we definitely don't need that many decimals, so I'm just gonna go to there. All right, the last thing we need to do is the flowers and symbols. Let's add a tab here, and this is gonna be our symbols tab. For the actual plant images, I'm gonna leave a download link down below in the description, and it will take you to the Google Drive where you can download these plant icons. So it'll look something like this. You can go here and click download, and it'll download as a zip file. You'll just click it and go into the plants. And I'm just gonna add them to my desktop so they're easily findable. What we'll do is add each image in different cells. I'm gonna make this row a little bit bigger. And what I'll do is insert image in cell, and then I'll do plant 1. And there it is. And now I'll do plant 2. Insert image in cell. Now we'll do plant number 2. And then just keep doing that until it's all done. Image in cell. So now you can see the progress of growth here. And this tab will be hidden once we're done. Let's go back to the habit tracker. Luckily, we'll only have to type this in once, so let's get started. We'll do equals, ifs, parenthesis, and we'll select where that percentage is, equals 2 quotes, comma, 2 quotes, comma, select that percentage again, less than or equal to 0, comma, and we'll go to symbols and select this first one. For me, that's in B5, comma. Let's go back. Select that percentage again. This time we'll do less than 0.21, so 21%. You can obviously change all the percentages here that you want. This is just kind of what I like, comma. Now we'll select C5, comma. C19 is less than 0.46, which is 46%, comma. If that percentage is under 46%, then it'll be this third image now. And instead of going back, I'm just going to type in C19. It's less than 0.71, comma. We'll select this fourth image, comma, C19, less than 0.99. I'll do 0.99, comma. The fifth image, comma, true, comma, and then the last image. But before we finish that, let's anchor in these pictures. So I'll do just the dollar symbol before and after the column letter. Oops. Oh no. I have one more. There we go. 2 more. Here and here. So now I'll just drag this over, and they're all little seedlings. Let's go to the bottom, so they're at the bottom there. And look as the plant grows. Obviously, you can insert whatever images you want into the symbol tab. I made these in canva.com, but you could do like really anything you want. You get creative with it. I saw someone had a little box, and when they would get 100% or to a certain percentage, a little kitten will pop out. Or you could do like frowny faces to smiley faces, whatever you want. But I thought the plant to flower was kind of cute. Let's label this as habit tracker, and we can hide the symbol sheet. And there you go, we're all done. You can obviously go through and make all the different pretty colors. But I'll leave all that up to you. If you have any questions, please leave them below. I hope you guys have a great day, and please remember that you are loved.